Winter is well and truly upon us, but do not fear, because at least National South Game Week 13 predictions are here. Let's do it. So today we can even skip all the formalities. There's only 3 games that took place last week, so none of this score of the week and scores I got right. We're just going to get to it and get into the 12 games coming up this weekend. Let's blimmin' do it. First up, we have Aveley. They're at home to Truro. Truro avoiding 3 defeats on the bounce, getting a really good point away at Worthing, albeit they had a massive helping hand. They scored their goal to get the second goal, the equaliser in the 90th plus 5th minute against a 9-man Worthing side. So big help from Worthing that day, but nonetheless, to go away to Worthing and get a point, no matter how you do it, is a great result. Aveley on the other hand, another team that didn't play last weekend. They lost 3-1 to Yeovil, but Yeovil on some red hot form at the moment, so it's to be expected. Yeovil looks so good at home, so this should be a really good game. I am going to call it to Aveley, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 Aveley win. Braintree Town take on Weston-super-Mare. This should be a really good game. 2 teams that are struggling a bit at the bottom, struggling in recent weeks. Braintree, the king of draws, getting another point out of Bath. Blair scoring in the 90th plus 4th minute or something crazy. This is amazing. We love this league. So many late goals. It's just constant. Obviously, Weston-super-Mare on the other hand, really disappointing loss against Chelmsford. At home as well, 3-0. I think Chelmsford scored all of their goals in the first 30 minutes of the game, which would have really killed the mood for them after Weston-super-Mare finally got a win back on the board the week before. This game should be really good. It should be really tight. It's got a 1-1 written all over it, but I'm not going to go 1-1. I'm actually going to go Braintree Town 1-0. Next up, we have Chippenham Town at home taking on St Albans City. St Albans were one of the 6 sides that did play in this weekend's fixtures. They did lose. They are now on back-to-back losses. 2-1 loss to Farnborough. I did sort of call that. I always say every single video, Farnborough, different side at home. People seem to go to them and end up crumbling. I think if anyone goes there and gets a win, you should be really pleased with that. Chippenham, on the other hand, as I said, didn't play on the weekend just gone. The weekend before did take a bit of a thumping to Dartford. The game I did go to, and they didn't play very well in my opinion. This should be a really good game. Chippenham and St Albans both sitting pretty comfy mid-table. Yet again, another game that's got a 1-1 draw all over it. But Chippenham, I am sorry, I'm going to go for another away home defeat, should I say. I'm going to go for St Albans 2-1 win. Next up, we have Dartford at home to Havant. Lots to talk about this one. This should be a really good one. This is going to be so Hampton and Richmond orientated. It's a joke, because both of these teams in the last couple of weeks have fallen at the hands to Hampton and Richmond. Havant losing 2-1 at home. Fairly disappointing result for them. Keeps them rock bottom of the table, and it's not the dream start for Steve King. Dartford, on the other hand, one of the most entertaining games by a mile at the start for the season. On the weekend just gone, lost 4-3. I was nearly in dreamland. I don't want to talk about it too much, so I'll cry. 3-3. Harvey Bradbury, penalty for Dartford, 90th minute. If he buried that, would have been absolute scenes and chaos after being 2-0 down at one point. Wasn't to be, and missed the penalty, and they ended up scoring in the 90th plus 4th minute. So absolutely gutting. But focusing on this fixture, Tom Bonner, will he play? I'm not actually sure yet. The ex-Dartford captain, will he play against Dartford back at his old stomping ground? It's just got so many good things going for ex-manager, ex-captain. Dartford, scoring loads of goals at the moment, and for that reason, because I don't want to waffle and take too long on this one just because it's my club, but I do believe Dartford, with the amount of goals they're scoring and playing bottom of the league, Havant at home, I can't see this going any other way than a Dartford win. I'm going 3-1 Dartford. Next up, we have Dover Athletic taking on Hemel Hempstead Town. This is going to be yet another good fixture. They're all good fixtures. I love them all. But Dover, obviously, although the season's been really poor for them, they've had a couple of really good fixtures in recent weeks. A draw against Bath City 2-2 and another 2-2 draw against Taunton. 2 of the sides that are sitting in the top 3 at the moment. So to go and get points out of both of those sides is really good. And I'm sure it'll do the world of good good for the squad in confidence. Hemel and Hempstead, on the other hand, they're proving to be a really good outfit in the league this year. They are proving so many people wrong. I know that the result against Tonbridge wasn't a great result, but they still had to go away from home, and it's never easy in this league going away from home. 3-3, a really exciting draw against Tonbridge. But I do, for the first time in a long time, I want to give Dover a bit of backing. So for that reason, I'm going to go for Dover to go 3 in a row for 2-2 draws. Fourth in the league, Maidstone United are taking on Farnborough at the Gallagher Stadium. Maidstone United, 3 wins on a trot for them, and what a fantastic result to go away to Torquay and beat them 1-0. Fantastic result. I'm not going to include FA Cups, but obviously they went to Torquay again the following Saturday and beat them again in the FA Cup. They must be absolutely high on confidence at the moment, loving life, and I can completely understand why. Farnborough, on the other hand, we've had a little chat about them and how they're so good at home, but whether they're good at home or not, they are currently 4 unbeaten, 3 of those being draws, so I know that doesn't get them loads of points on the board, but they are still 4 unbeaten, so this is set up to be a good game, and one of these sides is going to have to lose their very small unbeaten run. But I have to back Maidstone. It'd be silly not to, and I'm going for a Maidstone 2-0 win. Slough Town versus Chelmsford City. This is a great opportunity for Slough Town to take on a side that have had a bit of a rocky patch of form. Chelmsford obviously picking up a massively important win against Weston-super-Mare. They had a great start, 3 losses in a trot, was all going to pot very slowly, but very quickly got themselves back on the gas, getting a 3-0 win away at Weston-super-Mare. It's a really, really good and strong result. Slough Town, on the other hand, they have played 1 less game than the team just above them, Tonbridge. So it's a really good opportunity to get themselves out of the relegation for the first time this season and still have a game in hand, obviously, if results go their way. Do I think that's going to happen though? I don't, unfortunately. I am going to back Chelmsford to go and win this and take all 3 points, but I'm not going to call it too harsh for you Slough fans, as much as I don't want to doubt you too much. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelmsford win. Next up, Taunton Town take on Hampton and Richmond. Taunton Town still unbelievable stuff. I know we've had a bit of a chat about them in this video already, but Taunton Town still only 1 defeat all season. It's been an incredible season for them, and I'm sure home game against Hampton and Richmond, they'll be looking to continue that form and keep up with the big boys. Hampton and Richmond, as we spoke about, 2 wins on a trot, 3 wins in their last 5. As I said many videos ago, if you remember, as soon as they get away from that spell of having to play just away game after away game, they will pick up form and come good, and that they have. Although I don't think they were overly convincing against Dartford defensively, they obviously know how to put the ball in the back of the net, and I can't be too bitter. It's done, it's dusted, and they won fair and square. I do think this will be a very even game, but Taunton don't concede many, they're not losing many, but as well as that, they're not exactly scoring loads. So for that reason, I'm going for a Taunton Town 1-0 win. 4 games to go. We have Tonbridge taking on Bath. Tonbridge, I'm sure, will not be expecting too much out of this game with Bath's form this season being so good. Yet another team in the league, and the only other team in the league that have only lost just the 1 this season. So incredible for them. The only disappointment is Bath have had 2 consecutive draws against teams they certainly would have hoped to pick up all 3 points again, including that game against Dover. But that's how the league works sometimes. Tonbridge obviously getting a couple of draws, picking up points here and there, but just not enough for my liking. They will come up against, as I said, a Bath side that are looking so good, and they will have to compete with one of the strikers, Scott Wilson, who's looking on absolute fire this season. Yet another goal for him in a couple of weeks ago, just gone, because obviously Bath didn't play on the weekend. But Tonbridge did, draw against Weymouth, managed to hold on with 10 men. Should be a really good game, but I am backing Bath to not do a turkey for draws, and I'm going to go for a Bath away win at 2-1. Next up, home side Torquay United are taking on Welling United. Torquay hanging on to the playoff position by the skin of their teeth at the moment. 2 consecutive losses to Maidstone and Hempstead, albeit 2 very good sides, but 2 very, very disappointed losses for them, I'm sure, albeit the Maidstone one's probably a bit understandable. Welling United, on the other hand, they just can't hang on to points for the life of them. I am a Dart fan, so to say I feel for them, I'd be lying my ass off. But it is really unfortunate. They are conceding lots of late goals this season, and the win against Farnborough would have been massive for them. But conceding in the 90th plus 7th minute, I think it was, must be gutting, and it keeps them right down there in the relegation spots. So Torquay at home, I am going to back them to get points back on the board, especially being at home. So for that reason, I am going to go for a Torquay United 3-2 win. Coming down to the final 2, we have home side Weymouth. They will be taking on Eastbourne Borough. Weymouth really showing their grit in the last few weeks. They are now 4 games unbeaten. I know 3 of those are draws, but nonetheless, they're showing that they can be really tough to beat. They're coming up against a very inconsistent side in Eastbourne Borough. Results are a bit all over the place, but they are sitting mid-table. They'll be a lot happier now than they were at the start of the season, and they did recently have a fantastic win over St Albans. Second half sub Zach Emerson coming on to score a hat-trick. Unbelievable feeling for that boy, I'm sure. This result for me could go completely either way. So for that one, I am going to go a 1-1 draw. Last but not least, we have what I would potentially say is the game of the weekend. Worthing at home to Yeovil Town. Yeovil Town now have the most wins in the league this season. They sit top of the table, 7 wins, 4 of those wins coming from their last 4 game weeks. They are on red hot form, smashing it in all the cups, all the league. They are just looking so good. They come up against a Worthing side I'm a really big fan of. I like Worthing's style of play. I think they're a really good side, and they managed to still keep a point against Truro, even with 2 men sent off, although as we spoke about earlier, they'll be very disappointed with the time they conceded it, being in the 90th plus 5th minute. But at the moment, for me, Yeovil just look too strong. Anyone they come up against is just really struggling to get points out of them. They just are. The last 5 or 6 game weeks, Yeovil have been on absolute fire. So for that reason, I'd be stupid not to go for a Yeovil Town win, and I'm going to go a 2-1. So there you have it, another week of predicting what is a crazy league this year in the National League South. I'm having so much fun doing these. Please do make sure to smash that like button, because as I always say, it lets me know that you are enjoying the content, and to make sure I carry on making them. As I say, I'm really enjoying them, so it shouldn't be a problem. All the games in the description if you want to put your predictions below. But that being said, I am still going to be attending a National League South game this weekend, and it won't be Dartford and it won't be Yeovil. So I look forward to it. Match day vlog out very, very soon. And until the next one, see you later.